Well, hello again. I'm here once again to talk to you about my initial response to Train Sim World 5. It's been a while. It's been a month. Let's see, when was it? The September 17th. It hasn't even been a month since Train Sim World 5 has come out. But I wanted to give it a few weeks before I did my response video. Anybody else that's a YouTube personality of note, which I am not one of note. I don't get many views, but anybody who's anybody would have put out their response like the day before it was released, you know. I wanted to give it some time because there's things you notice when you use a new program. There's things you notice right off. Maybe your first response is a good response, but also I think it's very beneficial to run a program for a while, get used to the new features, and sometimes some things you don't like about new features end up later you find little nuances to it. Say, now I really do like this. I had to kind of learn some things, and so that's why I wanted to wait a few weeks. Let's get this thing going. Now, I've noticed that you cannot just put the reverser handle in and start going, because it'll get stuck if you set a new path. So you got to set your path first. Set path. And I'm going to come. I'm in San Bernardino. I'm going to head towards Los Angeles, but there's a bunch of little sidings here that I think are going to be wonderful to play. So let's just set the path right here for the time being, and then go back to the map. Now, one of the things about the map now is we have these labels. This is fantastic. I've been waiting for these labels forever, and so that's an update. That's a fantastic update. It should have been here when Train Sim World was released. I don't know why it wasn't, but it is now here, and I couldn't be more pleased. It's probably one of the most important things for a person like me who loves freight, and it's going to be going in and out, shunting. I'm an American, so I call it switching cars around, because you got to know what track you're switching in and out of. I mean, it's very difficult right out in Train Sim World 4 and before to figure out what track was what, because they weren't labeled. Train Sim Classic, they were labeled, and that baffled me. But now, hey, it's done. It's done. I'm happy it's done. It's about time it's done. But I'm finding too that now I set the path, I can come in here, that most of the stuff that's new for Train Sim World 5 is nothing but a consolidation of a bunch of nuanced features that could have been put forth during the year. I mean, this particular feature, as soon as they had it, they should have gave it to us. I mean, it's not that big of a thing. It's not an architectural change, as far as I know. It shouldn't have been. And it just baffles my mind why we waited so long. But we have it now, and so that's one of the new features. Another feature is the guard mode. That's where you become a conductor, on a passenger train, and you can give tickets and stuff. That's kind of a feature. And then you got the route hopping, where if at one point in the route you're in the yard, there may be a point you can hop to a different route. So if you have connecting routes, like San Bernardino connects to Kuhan Pass, so I can go not far from where I'm located right now in the San Bernardino yard, get off the engine, walk over to walk myself over to that little hopping point, and without going out to the menu, and it'll automatically take me to the San Bernardino yard. San Bernardino is a different downloadable content, different route than the Kuhan Pass, but they both have San Bernardino yard, so you can hop from one route to the other route. But what you can't do is, when you hop to the new route, you're not going to get the same vehicle, you're not going to get the same wagons, cars, or whatever sitting on the track in front of you. You're just going out. Actually, you're going out to the menu and coming back in again. So even though you don't physically have to go out to the menu, the hopping feature automatically hops you out and hops you back in. So you do go out and you go in again. So it's visually not that grand. It's not instantaneous. It's a reloading, but I guess it saves a few steps of doing it yourself. Because I used to do it myself. I used to hop. I would drive the New Jersey Transit, from Newark over to Penn Station. I would get out in Penn Station, walk around. I would go out to the menu, and then select a new route for like Rhode Island, and then go back in again at Penn Station and on foot, and then walk to a train and take in. So it's really no different than that, except for it saves you, kind of the trouble because you go into a hot point. So, that's a new feature. It's not that big of a feature in my mind, because it's slicker. It's slicker than going out and coming in, but it's not that slick, because it's not instantaneous. It's not like you have the same train anymore. You're really going and starting from a scratch point. But it does keep you at the same time. So when you hop, you go from one time, and now you're at the same exact time of day when you enter into the new route, to the next route. This feature, in my mind, really only works for routes that have connecting. Like San Bernardino connects to Kuhan, and it also connects to Antelope Valley. The New Jersey Transit connects in Penn Station to another route. I think some European routes have some connections, but most of the routes don't have those kind of connections. We can get going now. I was just waiting for the air brakes to get going. Okay, so we're on our way, and hopefully we can open windows, take a look out. So, and the other is you can also, there's a feature kind of like the route hopping, but you can hop and teleport to some other location in the current route you're in. And so that's a nice feature too. And there's also some new camera features. All these are little nuanced features. There's nothing grand about it. It's not really an upgrade in my mind. It's just a consolidation, a bunch of new little nuanced features that make the game more pleasant and enjoyable. And they're nice. They're really nice to have. But I will say this: my first impression is simply this: there is no difference between Train Sim World 4 and Train Sim World 5 outside of these few features. In other words, it's the same game, the same architecture, the same exact graphics. There's no upgrade. This is not an upgrade. I don't know that I don't even think the optimization is any better. It will look and feel the same. The atmosphere the same. The lighting's the same. Maybe there's some tweaks to that, but I don't notice it. I just don't notice it. But apparently there has been some graphic upgrades. Now that I think about it, they upgraded the particle effects, I think, and the fog is supposed to be much better. The lighting at night is supposed to be well improved. I hope all this is true, but these are great. I think some of us will start to notice these over time, but it's hard if your first impression is right out the gate. You don't notice them, but I think we will begin to start noticing some of these over the course of time with gameplay, which makes Train Sim World 5, better than what we have with Train Sim World 4. Some of these things are things that we want. All these little features, like the map, is huge in my mind. Even though to me it's just a tweak. Is that me? No, that's not me. I thought I had a red signal. I don't. And so that is, and the night lighting is supposed to be much better. The city lights are supposed to be better. And it seems to me that that's all the case. So my first impression is that I'm very happy with that. But what's missing? What were some of the things I was hoping for? I mean, be honest with you, I wasn't really hoping that we would get an upgrade in graphic or anything of that sort. The graphics in Train Sim World are quite nice right now. Are they up to par with maybe some of the other big game companies that are putting out first-person stuff and beautiful graphics? And I don't know that they're up to par with that, but they are certainly nice graphics. Better than any other train games that we have. Man, this thing's taking off. I'm at 28 miles an hour here. So, outside of that, I wasn't really saying that I wanted some big graphic improvements. So the fact that we have maybe better night lighting and some better fog and some of those things are very much appreciated and will make a difference. Why? I don't have... Maybe I'm going downhill. Let's take a look. I'm supposed to be going 10 miles an hour. I am going downhill. I'm putting on some brake here. You'll notice that I can't drive and talk at the same time. I'm not good at multitasking. At least that's what my wife tells me is darn true, and I hope I'm not going to ram into a train. Here I am. Where did he come from? Somehow I goofed up. But that's probably my fault. I'm talking instead of doing my job. I got a cup of coffee here, so if you hear me sipping and whatever. But more importantly, we want to talk about Train Sim World. Wow, I didn't go down the track I thought I was going to go down. I got to back all the way out. How did I get down that track? I thought I was going down this one. Here's one of those hopping points, I think. I think that's a hopping point. So yeah, I like this new map. I mean, you can... Somewhere here should be track labels. There they are. So let's back it up, guys. Let's back it up. Luckily, I didn't have a crash. Oh yeah, there is a new, if I didn't mention, a new camera mode, some new features to the camera. These are all good. The thing about the map, what's missing about the map is you can't read where you are when you zoomed out. You have to zoom in to see these labels. You don't see when you zoom out. So I don't know much about what can be done about that, but nevertheless, that's kind of disappointing. I like to have, and I think one of the reasons why is because we're not really on the map. See, the background is this purple, and then we don't have a true map in a sense. What we have is a computer-generated rail line, and if what's not on the rails is not on, there's no map. So it has to be the rail itself, and now the rails have labels, so I got to be happy for that. Gotta be happy for that. Yeah. So what is missing? That is still what would I look for? I would look for steam engines, and I think one of the reasons. No, it is the one thing I was hoping to see in Train Sim World 5 is to finally get steam engines for America, and we don't quite have that yet, and I don't even see it on the roadmap to come. So steam engines is not a thing for American freight or American trains at all. So we do have them in the British environment, but we don't have them in the United States or Canada. So that's a big disappointment. That's something I was looking for. And it's not necessarily an upgrade, but some of the new content I was looking for in the yearly release. So kind of disappointed about that. There is no career mode. Now, I think if we talk about what Train Sim World, what Dovetail Games considers career mode is journeys. Do they still call them journeys? But the journeys, which is a compilation of all these different scenarios you should do, and you can make a career of it by them telling you, okay, you do these, and then you move up, you level up, and then you get points. Well, I'm not excited about that at all. I mean, I just want to play trains. I don't want to play their game of them telling me, you got to do all these scenarios and then you level up. So some people like that. Some people like to conquer. By nature, I'm not a competitive type, and so I'm not a conqueror. I'm an explorer. I like in my gameplay where I'm free to do what I want, and then I can build my own. There's no feature in Train Sim World where you can build your own task order. There is the task list. I can hit the T key and it gives you a task list. But there's no feature where you can build your own task list. Man, I would like that. That's something I didn't even have on my list of. Oh, I just crashed. Well, guys, I crashed. I'm back. I restarted the whole scenario. And what was I talking about? I was talking about career mode. I don't know why we don't have a career mode. Well, because I think Dovetail Games considers their journeys a career mode by making you go through all their preset scenarios. But I like being free, and I think one of the best things about what happened a year ago with Train Sim World 4 was the upgrade to having free roam be so well done. I mean, where you can set your own route and make, was that Train Sim World 3? But anyway, no, it was Train Sim World 4. I'm loving the whole free roam thing. It's fantastic, and I can have my own career, do my own career. But I would think it would be phenomenal if at the depot, if you're in a yard, when you come into a yard, you can get out and go into the depot and go into a little portal like this, which is in the depot office, and it take you in the office and then give you a menu of different things you can do, like change the time of day. You can do this like in Train European Truck Simulator. You go into a rest stop or a hotel or something, and you hit rest, and it tells you how many hours you want to rest. Oh gosh, that would be fun. And then nothing on the map changes. Nothing on the map changes. I think the problem with doing that now in Train Sim World is we can actually do this with the downloadable content, which I got called God Mode, and I can go here and change the time, the date, and the time, and that does the same thing as career mode in my mind, because it gives me what I want. But it would be nice if Dovetail Games had it built in where you went into that little depot office and it gave you a menu like this where you can make those changes and go about your business right where you left off, even using the same engine, and even having the fueling engine. So there's no real career mode even still, and that's troublesome. All right, so let's get this going. Want to set the path? Yeah. So career mode is not implemented, at least not in my mind. Doing journeys and it's just a way of leveling up by doing all the scenarios in the order, or mix up the order, or I think you have the option you can mix up the order doing scenarios or whatever. But I don't really care about conquering. I want to freely drive my trains and explore. I mean, free roam. They have a free roam mode, but I don't really like the free roam mode because it really doesn't give you the benefit of Train Sim World, where you have AI trains going around. So I like going into timetable and then setting down, like I did today, setting down my train by using one of the new features from a year ago. You hit the tab key and you can, whoops, not that key. Oh, you have to be out on foot. So yeah, when you're out on foot, you can hit the tab key and plop a train down. So I go in the route builder. I built this, not route builder. I go into the formation builder. I built this formation and this, put this locomotive on it, and then I walk out here and I set the whole thing down, and the timetable. I'm in the timetable, and so I can crash a train like you just seen me do. So that's nice about that. I really do enjoy that. So let's see if I can get out of this yard without crashing. So that's one of the things that they still don't have that I like to see. Nobody talks about it. I think I'm the only one that's ever talked about it. I listen to a lot of other podcasts and YouTube videos, and I'm the only one that talks about career mode. But with career mode being, the ability to go use an office and change the time of day. But like I said, we can download God mode from outside contract, outside developer, and install it, which I did. Even Train Sim World 5 uses God mode, if you didn't know. So it's as simple as putting in there, and you can make those changes. I think this AI here. So one of the reasons why I like timetables, because you can interfere with the AI, and the AI can interfere with you. I think this guy's going to back down one of these tracks, so he may be changing everything on me. Yeah, he's coming right down on me. So I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait to see what he does. So he just changed the cards on me, and that's one of the fun things I think about, doing a free roam inside a timetable is you got to be careful. You got to watch what you're doing. And I happen to have played this before, where I think what this guy is going to want to do is back that whole train into the yard, because he's coming down the main line. So while he's doing that, I think I'm far enough away out of his way. No, I think I don't know. Depends on where he wants to back. Maybe I should back all the way up. Let's go ahead and back up here. Things seem so dark. Shouldn't there be a cab light here somewhere? I don't know why I'm not moving. There we go. I think I'm just going to back down here and hope he doesn't want to come down my line. Yeah, I really like this new mat. So career mode is something that, my impression is that's something missing that we should have. And we don't have, and I sure would love to see it. Another thing is wildlife. We have animated stuff in Change Sim Worlds. You can see, well, you have animated cars. You have animated, equipment, in industry, and bulldozers and stuff, whatever they are, backhoes and stuff, animated. And I don't even know that you have to animate the wildlife. You do have. I noticed over when I was doing some of the European routes that there were sheep and there was cows and they're all spread out, and they don't even have to be animated. They're just out there in the farmland. Why don't we have in the United States any of the animals? I think in trying to think out east, there is I can't think of the name of it. There is one. There's a horse next to a barn. One of the routes that came out sometime before, and I just forget the name. It was one of those mining routes. But really, I don't understand why we don't see more cattle and stuff as we're driving. And even Kuhan Pass, there should be deer and cattle and antelope, and you could put them off in the distance and keep them stagnant, and you would just see them. Even buffalo, you would just kind of see them. But right now, there's no animals. It's just barren, and I don't know why. It wouldn't be that difficult. There are some birds. I noticed some birds, I think, in Train Sim World 5. The other week, I think I seen some birds, but even birds, I don't recall if there's a lot of that. So that's something that's missing that I like to see. Another thing that is driving me nuts about Train Sim World, I want to check and see what this other train is doing. Yeah, he is backing down, and thank goodness he's backing down this lane here, not my lane. So as soon as he's done, I'll try to get going. I'll have to check my switches again. Yep, that's him coming. Yeah, so, no wildlife. Now, the invisible walls are driving me crazy. They just are driving me crazy. Let's take a look at the map, and I'll tell you why. Because there's so many spurs and sidings along industry and all the different routes in Train Sim World that you can't get access to because of an invisible wall that just stops the train or crashes the train, or just you can't get through it. And I'm thinking, why? This is a dead-end spur or siding along an industry. Why put a wall so you can't use that track? Put the wall outside the track. If there has to be a wall where you don't want people going into or walking into, or taking the camera past, there's got to be a reason for the wall. I don't know if it has to do with optimization or just like when an example would be in the New York City. I was coming down one of the new routes for New York City, Harlem. It was the Harlem route, and you can't. This isn't a grievance. This is just maybe a reason why they have a wall. If you go into the 8 key for free cam, and I'm not even talking for free cam, and I'm coming along the downtown Manhattan past Harlem, you come across an area that goes along Central Park, And before you do, I mean, there's oh no, Yankee Stadium I think is there. You can go to Yankee Stadium, but you can't use the A key and take the camera out to Central Park to see what Central Park looks like. Well, because it's not modeled. Why would it be? You know, the train isn't going to go that way. But you know, I can understand why there's a wall and you can't free cam there. But I don't understand why there's these invisible walls stopping the train from going down a track that's modeled. It's modeled. So I want to go into the map view here because we can probably get going here now that that train's got out of the way. Yeah, I think we can get going. But, you know, if we go back into the map view, and we come over to, I want to come all the way over here, over to the Los Angeles end of this route. Yeah, right here. We have all this yard here. And there's even cars in the yard. Yet I can't figure out how to get into it. Now, this is why I think I need to explore a little bit more. Maybe there's a way to get into this yard by coming around here, but I kept running into walls. The other thing is, there's a wall stopping you from coming over here, coming down this track. It would be great, but, you know, and I think it's because once you come down this track, you're actually going into the Antelope Valley download route. So that's a different route. But there's invisible walls where you can't even come near. But, you know, I would love to be able to go into this yard and then jump to the Antelope route. I actually have to come over this. I have to cross over into the Los Angeles Depot area to jump into the Antelope route. Well, that doesn't make sense for freight cars. Freight cars need to be able to get in this yard, and there's an invisible wall where I can't get in. At least I hadn't figured out how to do it, which is very frustrating to me. Very frustrating. So I probably should pay attention to driving. Where am I? I'm still good. Still good. Oh gosh, hopefully I'm doing well. I am liking what I see in the lighting for Train Sim World 5. Alright, on to my grievances and actually they're not grievances. I'm not feeling too terrible. I'm just my refined critiques, I guess. The invisible walls that is a grievance. That's just driving me nuts. There's a lot of places, even on this route, where there are sightings that we're going to go past up here. That there's invisible walls where you can't get past the fence into some of these sightings. Some of them you can, which is very welcomed, I should say, because some of these there's an invisible wall on this one. And I think there's an invisible wall on this one. Why? I mean, these aren't like, I understand when you have a piece of route that goes nowhere, you got to put an invisible wall. But when you have these sightings with industry on it, why is there any invisible walls there at all? So that's kind of a grievance that is just driving me nuts. All right, going on, some more critiques. The paint shop. Now, maybe I'm wrong about this, and I hadn't had enough time in the what do you call that? I call it the paint shop, and you know, the design editor for designing your own. You know, it'll give you a stock car that you own, and it'll be so you can grab. I guess you can grab any of the cars you own, and paint them, but they'll come out, you know, in gray, and then you can paint it yellow, whatever color. You can throw a coat of paint, and then you can then put on labels, whatever you got. Well, I don't have, they don't offer you the labels, the logos and stuff. I guess because maybe license agreements. I don't know, and I don't know if you can download some of that stuff, but they're not offered. So the design editor for messing with the vehicles is frustrating to me because I want my cars to look different. I don't want every car to look like it's brand new out of the paint shop. I want some looking nice, but I want to be able to weather some, graffiti some. It would be nice if they offered you the cars you have and the road names you have in the design editor the way you have them already painted and labeled, and then you can layer on top weathering. Maybe that would break the license agreement. Maybe that breaks the logo. Because I know a lot of companies are very particular about their logos, and so maybe that's why. But I just wish I could weather all my cars and have the same car, same route names, and have little differences in fading and weathering. So, I don't know if that's doable as far as license agreements, but it should be doable as far as. Oh, I think I'm coming up to a car. Let's see. Am I running into something? Where am I? What am I doing down there? I took a turn down here. I'm not supposed to be going down there. I'm supposed to be going that way. So, that's another critique I have. I don't know about that one. Route formation. Right now, route formation, I don't think you can. I don't think it's opened up where I can put in different road names, and I'm not sure about that. I think I'm wrong about this one. I have a note that I'm not able to put different road names on when I do a formation, but I think I'm wrong about that one, so I got to check on that. But that was something I would like to be able to do. You may want to have, for example, yeah, I definitely think I'm wrong about this one because I think I could do a formation. Let me look at I did this formation. I built this in the formation designer. Some of these may be UP and some of them may be NSF. So I could be wrong about that. Yeah, so these are UP, and I think there's maybe some BNSF. Yep, so I am wrong about that. So that's good to know because I want to mix up the trains that have different road names on it, because in America, they travel some of these trains. The cars are traveling cross country, and they're going into different yards, and they're building and logistically moving sections of trains to different. They may be traveling through various states, American states, and then they mix up road names and stuff. But and some of the companies will buy cars from another company, and they didn't get the new road name on it, whatever. I think I should have put this one up front in case some of you get bored with me, because this one's a big one. There's no joystick with support. This is something I've been wanting since Train Sim World first came out. Another big item. Why can No, all the other games, I don't know. Just most other games today have joystick support where you can go into the settings and it'll recognize your joystick and allow you to use your own joystick. Now, it does have support for the controllers, for Xbox controller, and it does have support for Real Driver. But even still, I would love to use my Logitech Quad, with all the different in the like Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane or whatever. You can use all the different throttle levers. I would love to be able to use that in Train Sim World, and I just don't know why they don't allow you to choose your own joystick. That might be a difficult thing, but hey, they got a year to do it now. Please do that. Train manifest. Let's see, the new map. Yeah, I think you can, if you hover over, you get additional information on some of these things. But I really, in Train Sim Classic, it'll tell you the train number. And also, I think be able to build your own manifest. So right now, when you build a route, the manifest now, it's not a manifest, the task list now, when you hit T, it basically is the route initiation and destination. And you can put in there via different, pass-through stations and stuff. So you can make a task of, several different pass-through points to your final stop at destination. But what I'm talking about is being able to build your own task list like a train manifest of picking up and dropping off cars. Maybe it's kind of like a notepad, if they build in an in-game notepad where you can build your own manifest. That would be nice. The other thing, and this would be the last thought, where my critique of Train Sim World 5, Train Sim World to begin with, because none of these features are already there that I would love to see, would be, let's take a look here. I'm going to go out here and this may help explain. Train Sim Classic has this, where, see, this is an empty flat car. And I think in the route builder you can choose whether you want it to have a load or be empty. But it sure would be nice to be able to have this empty flat car, and then in a certain area in the yard you can load it. Like the intermodals and stuff, where you can load those. Because that was something that you could do and still can do in Train Sim Classic. Even these, like hoppers, in Train Sim World, these hoppers for certain scenarios can be loaded. At least, I don't know if it changes, I think it changes the tonnage of the car. But, and you can get on and open up the top of the hopper. You can open the hatch and you can see these are empty, and there are certain scenarios that you can load them, but it's not really well done. I think I'd love to see an improvement on that particular thing, because for the most part, when you're in free roam and you want to pick up some flat cars that were loaded, or drop off cars and then unload them, be nice to unload them so you can go pick them up empty later. So those are some of my thoughts about Train Sim World 5. I hope to see improvements done on it. The map, been hoping for that That's good. That's great. What's missing? No steam engines for U.S. No career mode where you can get off your train and go into an office and change the time of day. Have to use an outside downloadable mod for that. No stations on the map. Well, really, not really a map, but it's a floating rail, and the best they can do is put labels on the rail, which I'm very happy they do. There's not really in the United States a lot of wildlife visible. In fact, other than a horse or cattle, once in a while on some of the routes, like in San Bernardino and Kuhan Pass, there is no animals that I know of at all. Where they could have antelope or deer or cattle for sure, at least cattle, even if it's static and off in the distance, you can see cattle. And invisible walls are still driving everybody nuts. So there's track that another 100 yards would, could get you to the end of the track along an industry, and it's blocked off. Paint shop weathering would be great in the design editor. No joystick with support. No, which is, boy, that would be great if we had joystick with support. And there's no in-game, notepad manifest. They could build a notepad that looks like a manifest that we can type right into and build our own manifest. So as we go along doing our task, that the task list would be manifest-driven, car-driven, rather than route-driven. About where we could add to locations on the route on the manifest, along with what cars go where. And there's no really nice way of loading and unloading the cars, like flat cars or coil cars, or even though some scenarios give you that ability, free roam, you can't do those things. So it's kind of a hidden specialty in some scenarios as far as loading and unloading cars. I would really love to see some feature for loading and unloading cars. It's a lot slicker than what we have currently. So that's what I have for you this morning. Now I don't know what time of day it is your time, but Saturday morning here, and we got an AI train coming through, and we're gonna crash. And that should end the video. What a beautiful crash, I guess. So thanks for coming, and we'll catch you next time.